already.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Hello.
Welcome back. No, I don't know. Never mind.
Guess
I was
who's
gonna
back? Back again.
or that one.
That one. Hi. How you doing this fine day?
I am great. It is a beautiful beginning of autumn day. We have clear skies. There's a few leaves on the ground. We just
That's so nice.
took photos outside and did we rode our bikes, and it was a really nice morning.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. And I'm generally feeling really great because I'm fasting. I'm on day 11 and I'm feeling amazing. I love it so much.
Just clearing the whole system.
Clearing it all out. Yes.
Yep. And I'm very much enjoying the bathroom updates.
Yeah, Megan gets pictures or like detailed information about my bowel movements.
Output.
Yeah. Enemas.
I'm loving it.
Oh, by pictures, I don't mean that I photograph my
No.
output. I photograph me on the floor while I have water running up my butt.
Look, I wouldn't mind an output picture.
It's
but
not
you don't
very
have to send that to
interesting.
me.
It's just brown water.
Unless it's interesting, I'm good.
I can send you pictures when I do my liver cleanses after this, because there will be greenstones. And
Crazy.
that's actually kind of freakish. So you can have pictures of that. But that's going to be a while.
Great. Looking forward to it.
You're welcome, everyone.
A little teaser for the future. Love it.
What are you doing?
I've spent the last 12 to 24 hours by myself at home, which is very cool.
Oh, yeah, actually completely by yourself, right? Because Hunter and the baby were
they were elsewhere. Yesterday. Yeah. I got a not so pleasant test result this week that means that I have to stay by myself for a week. I'll let you guess what that is. But Hunter and the baby were good to go as of yesterday. So they went to stay with his mom and visit grandparents. And so I have had the house to myself, and it's been amazing. And I have been very busy. Could I have chilled and just taken it easy? Yes. Did I decide to do that? Absolutely not. No, I decided to empty the closet in the baby's room and open all the boxes and reorganize all the stuff in the boxes and put them all back in the closet.
Oh, that sounds so exciting and satisfying.
It was incredibly satisfying. By 9:30 last night, when I had not done the dishes, which were the other thing that were on my list, and only eaten 4 cookies since the afternoon.
Right.
It wasn't as thrilling by that point, but for the rest of the day it was great. And now that it's done, also really great. And I just feel like I know what's in there now, and I feel like the space is being used appropriately. It's just very exciting things over here. I made a dream list of all the things around the house that I want to do and get settled, because I was at home this week and with my baby, and he now takes really long afternoon naps, which is I can't tell you how much joy that brings me. And it's just amazing. A 2-hour nap.
Oh my God.
A 2-hour nap. One day it was 2.5. It's like I've found a whole new life.
Right.
Yeah. So I made a list of all the things I wanted to do during his naps this week. And I did a few of them, which is really exciting. And it's not, it's a very long list full of things that will take probably a whole year or so. But so far I've done like 4 of them already.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
I know. It's pretty exciting. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Silver lining for that of that test result.
Yeah, definitely a silver lining.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going back to work on Monday, so it's probably will not continue this ticking off of the list items quickly.
Right.
Because life will reassert itself and it'll be fine. But it was really great. It was nice to do some stuff.
Oh, yay.
And hang out with my little tiny human for a few days, which was really fun. Because I had started feeling, so he started daycare recently, and I was starting to feel like I wasn't seeing him as often as I wanted to. And I traveled without him, which, yeah, I traveled. And so he was not there. And so I just felt like I was missing him. So it was really nice to hang out with him a bunch.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. And this is it, by the way, folks. This episode is a life update. So we're just going to keep going with this. Because I have a question. Is he on, like, is that his one nap of the day?
Yes. Yeah. So he's been doing one nap since about the end of August, beginning of September. He kind of wavered a little bit between them, but it wasn't like, it was a pretty swift transition as far as the 2 naps to 1 nap transition goes, because from what I've heard and read and gathered, that can be a really long transition with a lot of like back and forth and waffliness. But for him, it was like a little bit of waffling through the month of August, and then basically started taking a 2-hour nap,
Nice.
which is incredible.
And we're in October, by the way.
Right, we're in October. So by the beginning, middle of September, he was consistently just taking that long midday nap. And I will say the first week after he was in childcare, that weekend he took no naps because Hunter and I didn't really know what his nap routine was when he was there. And so we were doing the nap routine that we had done before, and that didn't really work. And like, I think the other part of it was with any kind of sleep assistance that you're giving to a baby or a toddler, confidence is key. Like, your conviction that they are going to go to sleep if you're in the room with them is necessary. Like, if you are unsure and frustrated and like wanting to make it happen, like, it's, in my experience, that has only ever resulted in either it takes forever or it doesn't happen. So, yeah, so that didn't work for the first weekend because we were just like, I don't know what I'm doing. But after that, changed up a thing or two. I think at her house, it's really dark. So where he sleeps for his nap. So we've actually moved him to the darkest room in the house, which is the room where we have blackout curtains, which is our bedroom. So I nap him in our bedroom now, and he sleeps like a charm, like fully.
Oh, nice.
2 hours straight, no problem. The one time I did nap him in his room where we have a blackout curtain, but it's not as effective. He woke up about an hour in, and I put him back to sleep in our room, and he slept another hour and a half. And like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I don't think you're done sleeping. We're going to go and lay down in the bed where it's dark, and we're going to see what happens.
Okay, so he naps better in your room. How are
Mm-hmm.
the nights going since... How long has it been that you moved him to his own room?
Ooh, I don't know. Um, well, so it's been it we are still in transition
Right.
cuz like we cleaned up and made a room for him. I think it was end of August, something
Mhm.
like that. So he was 13 months old. And then basically he would sleep in his bedroom in here. I'm in his bedroom for like the first few hours of the night, and then whenever I went to bed, I would take him to bed with me because usually
Okay.
I would go to bed around when he would wake up the first time and he would go to bed with me. And then when he came out of his last mental leap, he started sleeping longer in the evening again. And that, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's coming out of that mental leap. I think it was also, we changed the way the light was in this room so that it was darker at night. And then also it's been getting darker at night because
Mm-hmm.
the nights are getting longer. So I think the darkness helped. I think the mental leap helped. And he just finished cutting molars, at least 2, maybe 3 molars. So all of those things combined, I think, have led him to sleep longer at the beginning of the night. So now he sleeps a good long chunk of the night to begin with. And sometimes we'll come in here and put him back to sleep in here, and then he'll sleep in here for longer. Sometimes we'll take him to bed with us again. And sometimes he'll get up, come out of his room, and come into our room. And then I'm like, well,
Cute.
it's so cute. The first time it happened,
love
I almost
that.
stepped on him because it's dark, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting him to be at his door because now he can open doors. He can open
Oh,
doors.
wow.
He's walking around. We have the like, we don't have door knobs. We have like the handle
Handles.
doors.
Uh-huh.
So at some point, Hunter taught him how to open them, which he probably would have figured it out anyway. But I was like, Hunter, why'd you teach him that? Why did you teach him that?
We would have had another month.
I know we would have had like at least a couple more weeks. Come on. But no, now he can open his bedroom door, and the first few times that happened, when he would open the door and we weren't there yet, he like walked down the hall and was really confused and would like start crying in the kitchen or like
Oh my god.
it was so
Baby.
oh my god. It's adorable, and it's just so pitiful when he cries, when he's like when he doesn't worry. Oh, it's so pitiful. Oh. So yeah, now he knows that we're in our room and he knows where that is in
Mm-hmm.
relation to his room. So he'll get up and go out the door and come into our room.
Oh my god. That to me is like the most precious thing.
It's so precious. It's so cute. So he sleeps about half the night in his room and half the night in our room. Which I think is a pretty good rate of transition for us. We're trying to take it slow, partly because it's the middle of the night and like we want to get sleep. So
Yeah.
and he does wake up a few times at night. Like he wakes up and he even nurses. So, and I've like waffled back and forth on whether or not I want to actively do something about that, like whether I want to actively try to reduce the amount that he's nursing at night, or try to like at some point before he started sleeping longer, we were like, do we need to sleep train? Do we need to like talk to him and tell him that he's safe and then leave the room and like keep him in there? Like, what do we need to do here? One of the things that came out of that discussion was we had just been like basically letting him run bedtime, which went really well for a while. But then eventually he started. So when one of the things that Hunter learned as he was researching, because Hunter's done the research on this one, is that when babies start walking, it's kind of like when they learn to pull up. So when they learn to pull up, that's when about the 8-month sleep regression happens, because they wake up and they automatically pull themselves up.
Right.
And so they're like practicing this, and it's in their body to practice this thing over and over and over again and constantly, right? So it seems like from what he was reading that walking is pretty similar. So when they start walking, they just walk all the time, and like when they wake up, they're standing up. When they wake up, they're standing up and walking somewhere. And so like when he would get sleepy, he would sometimes stand up and walk out of the room and walk down the hall and go into the living room. And we had already turned the light off in here, and like we were already like pretty far along in the sleeping routine, like getting to bed routine. But then he would stand up and walk out of the room and go somewhere else, and then wake up, and we'd have to kind of sort of start over again. So at some point, Hunter we were both really frustrated and tired and like feeling slightly defeated about it. And so he started, looking stuff up and figuring stuff out. And he's like, we need to set a boundary. And I was like, oh, right. Yep, you're right. We do. Yep, you're absolutely right. We need to set a boundary. And I was like, I don't know what that's going to look like. Is he going to scream? Like if we don't let him leave the room, what's that going to mean for this bedtime? So, and it didn't have to go this way, but this is the way that it went for us. The next night, I was putting him to bed, and same sort of thing happened. He got up and he walked over to the door, and he, went to open the door, and I just put my foot against the door and held it closed. Right? Like luckily it opens inward. So I could just hold it closed really subtly, so he didn't see that I was holding it closed, but so that he couldn't leave the room. And literally he just was like, and then he walked back over to his bed and laid down. It was amazing. And I was just like, oh,
best
really?
Case scenario.
I know. It was incredible. You didn't even have any feelings about that. Like, you're just like, oh, I guess I'm not leaving. I guess it's time for bed. It was amazing. Wow. So yeah, boundary setting turns out.
It doesn't need to be scary.
Doesn't have to be dramatic.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And like he hasn't really pushed that boundary since then.
Right.
Do
you feel like he made the connection? Like, now I'm in here, we've done this routine, and now it's like...
I think he did. He does
so cool.
Still like get up and walk around the room, and I still let that happen. But I think that having just this room and having the routine of this room being where he goes to bed, and like... Yeah, it was just life-changing, and it was so simple. And I was fully ready for it to be like a full minute of crying. That he couldn't
you
open
had
the
braced
door.
yourself for the...
I was fully ready for that, and I was like, and that might have been part of it too, right? Like I was very confident, I was very grounded, I was very ready for him to have whatever emotions he was going to have about it, but I was also very like decided that this is what we're doing tonight, and this is the boundary that I'm setting, and I feel good about that boundary, and I feel like it's necessary, and therefore I'm ready for you to feel whatever you feel about it. You know, like that whole process that we talked about I think we've talked about it before.
Probably.
So that may have been part of his reaction too, that like I felt safe, I felt okay. So in his mind, he was like, she's okay, so I'm okay. Yeah. Kind of a thing. Which is huge in boundary setting and emotion coaching across the board. Yeah. When you're setting boundaries, especially for, I don't know about especially for anything. I think it's just when you're setting boundaries, it's much more effective if you are confident and you are okay. Yeah. And that's such an inadequate word. But if you're settled in that.
You did that process with yourself. You know where you're at.
Mm-hmm. If you're confident in the decision that you're making, if you're confident in the necessity or the function of the boundary that you're setting, then it's much easier to be okay with whatever their reaction is to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also
and then
feeds
you're in a
into their reaction being more okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's probably true across the board with boundary setting. Not even around babies.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because, now I'm thinking about like adult situations with another adult. You can definitely feel when the other one is unsure about the boundary you just set. So maybe you push it.
Right.
So you're like, nah, that didn't look like you were really serious about that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come at you again. I'll ask again. Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the transition that we're in currently. And one night he slept in his room till 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Usually it's like somewhere between 12 and 2, which is still really good compared to where we were at. Like,
does that give you guys like already like do you guys feel more rested with, even if it's like 12 or 2:30, just having?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Cool.
I generally go to bed earlier than Hunter does, because he does the like nighttime cleanup stuff for the most part. So he tends to go to bed a little bit later than me. So I think a few more hours for him would be great. But I definitely feel more rested. And he's just waking up less often at night. So like when he does come to bed with us, there's more sleeping and less nursing and cuddling and waking up and moving and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Hunter gets kicked quite a bit, but otherwise it's all good.
Yeah, do you want to share that part?
Yeah. So basically, he and I have very different perceptions of how well the baby has slept based on which person he's like attaching himself to more. Mm-hmm. Right? So he does a lot of like burrowing in with his head. So cute. It's really, really cute, but it's also a lot when you're trying to sleep. Mm-hmm. And neither Hunter nor I are very interested in touching anyone when we're sleeping. Mm-hmm. So I can actually sleep more with the baby touching me than I can with anyone else touching me, which is not surprising, but also a positive thing.
Yeah.
That's a bonus. So, but basically when he's like cuddling into, nuzzling into Hunter, I'm like, oh, the baby slept great last night. And Hunter's like, he slept terribly last night. I don't know what you're talking about. And then when he's on me, I'm like, oh, the baby slept rough last night. And sometimes Hunter's like, oh, I didn't really notice. Sometimes Hunter sleeps really lightly. So the baby likes to sleep horizontally to us. So we're making an H in the bed. Me on one side, the baby in the middle, and Hunter on the other side. And he just kicks him all night long. So either he's getting nuzzled into or he's getting kicked, and he sleeps really lightly. So he's just got the worst of both worlds, regardless of which person the baby is cuddling into. It's just tough. I don't know.
And then he also goes to bed later, so he doesn't even get really a lot of the benefit of the first few hours of the baby sleeping in his own room. Oh, Hunter.
I know. It's tough. It's tough to be Hunter in our house. All the work, no reward.
Oh, man.
No, he's wonderful. But yeah, it's an interesting transition, and it's funny too because there's so much advice about sleep training, sleep coaching, free range sleeping. Like I don't think that's a thing, but there's so much information and advice on babies sleeping. And in my very humble, uninformed opinion, I don't think any of it is the right way to do it.
No.
I think, and the one study that Hunter did find, and we're, picking and choosing our data sources here, but like the one study Hunter found was they did a study on parents' sleep training, and it focused on the mothers, and they said half of the mothers got a contact. I don't know if it was a nurse or what, but a contact that they could talk to about their sleeping process once a month. And regardless of what method they were using or what level of objective success they got, they were more satisfied with their sleep process and their baby's sleep if they had someone to talk to about it. And like that is just one of the many things that to me just says, and this is sort of my philosophy in parenting generally, like if you feel confident in what you're doing, if you feel good about what you're giving to your kid and how you are in that situation and what your life looks like, then you're doing it right. Because to me, if you as a parent are able to be accepting and enjoying what you're doing and loving your baby, no matter what the minutia of your like parenting style looks like, that's going to turn out a positive result in terms of that parent-child relationship and that kid as an adult, right?
Yeah.
If you're starting from that place of like being centered and feeling good about your decisions and loving your kid, that to me is baseline. You're doing a good job. That's not to say I don't have like strong opinions about what I want to do, but I think that's the thing, right? Like those are the things that I want to do, and the fact that I have strong opinions means that I'm going to make choices that I'm going to feel in line with my opinions about, and therefore I think it's going to be a good outcome. Yeah. Or, I'm hopeful that it will be a good outcome. So I think that nowhere is that more true than around sleep because there are literally books written by equally expert people that say the exact opposite thing of each other. And both of them say you're going to ruin your child if you do it the other way. Like, and that's not great, but also like, yeah. So that's where I'm at with sleeping. And I think the one thing I did when we were in this like panic moment of like, oh no, we don't know what we're doing it wrong, like this is going terribly, we're not getting any sleep, this is not how we want to be living, was I texted my friend who has a 3-year-old, I think 2-year-old, and was like, and we had talked one time, and she said that her son, who was I think 2 at the time, like put himself to sleep, and they put him in his bed and they left the room and they had their little video monitor and we were on the phone. She was like, yeah, he's falling asleep. And I was like jaw dropped, mouth open, like this is incredible. I think I had the baby at the time. I think he was teeny tiny though. And I was like, I remember that conversation. I'm gonna give her a call. I think she actually listens to the podcast, so hey girl, hey. So I texted her about it, and she gave me a bunch of really good advice, and I don't even remember how much of it I took, but it was just so comforting to talk to her about it and to hear someone else that had gone through it and someone else who had like come out the other side and was okay. And getting back to actual methods, like I really didn't want to leave my baby to scream in his room. Like I'm not comfortable with that. I wouldn't feel confident and centered and like calm about that, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a thing that I was ready to do. And she hadn't done that either. And so that was really encouraging to me. So yeah, I think, and after that, like, it didn't go significantly better. It didn't go very different at all, but it felt like it was going so much better.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it was going like it was supposed to.
Your feelings about it had changed.
My
You had
feelings
become
about it
more
had changed.
confident about the situation.
Yeah. And I started looking at everything else that was going on in his life at that point, like the teething, like the leap, like the transitions, and recognizing that, like, yeah, this is a lot, and I can see an end to it. Like, I looked up in our little Wonder Weeks app, which is an app that tracks the mental leaps, and saw that, like, in 2 weeks his leap will be over, so maybe we'll reassess at that point. So yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, just the perspective change of that was really good.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. We got a walk in. He's saying words.
Oh my.
We've got
It's
Bath.
so cute.
We've got Boo. He, like, walks around us. This is the cutest thing in the whole world. He walks around us. We sit on the floor. He'll walk in a circle around us, and when he gets to the side where we can see him, he goes, "Boo." Like, his Boo is very much consonant focused, but he's like, "Boo," and then he'll walk around again and do it again. It's just so cute.
Oh my god.
It's so cute. Oh, yeah. So he says boo. He says cheese and please. He really likes S sounds. Boo, bath, bye-bye, cheese and please. Those are the highlights right now. It's so fun. He's turning into a person. We're, like, having conversations. It's so cool.
Is he calling you guys? Is he saying no?
No, he hasn't said that at all yet. Yeah, I'm kind of not invested in that.
Yep. Just interested.
I think it will be very exciting when it happens, though. I think I'm not invested because I, like, don't see it on the horizon.
Right.
Doesn't feel like it's gonna happen anytime soon.
I always think about, like, I can't imagine myself talking about me in the third person to the baby. Like, mama's gonna do this now.
Yeah.
But just saying I, like, using the correct pronoun. But then I think, well, probably the reason people do that is so the baby knows, like, this is my name, I'm mama. And then I always think, could they learn it any other way? Because, like, I also don't want to do the thing where, like, my partner starts calling me that and stops calling me what he usually calls me.
Yeah.
And then I think, okay, but how would the baby hear? So they would probably only hear it when my partner refers to me to him, like, go to mama, mama's gonna do that. Like, is that enough? Also, I realize that I'm overthinking this, but I wonder about that.
So definitely. And I was and am in the camp of, I'm not comfortable calling my partner, like, daddy or dada. But I do. It's so weird because when I'm talking to the baby and Hunter is in the room, I call him daddy. And I call him that because I'm talking to the baby. But I'm not, like, my words are not for the baby. Because a lot of times I'm saying things that he's not going to understand. A lot of times I'm communicating to Hunter through talking to the baby, which is kind of weird and, like, not always great. Not always bad. Sometimes totally fine and normal. Sometimes kind of weird. But, like, it would feel more weird in that context for me to call him Hunter than for me to call him daddy. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say, like, yeah, daddy's going to the bathroom. Yeah, daddy is going to the kitchen. Yeah, daddy's got the ball. Yeah, daddy, you know, like, You say
Yeah,
it a
but
lot.
yeah, but okay, cool. Yeah, that's
You
what
say
I
it a
mean. Like
lot.
I can only see myself using it in that
I also talk about
situation.
myself in the third person,
Okay.
which you're not quote unquote supposed to do
No?
based
I
on
didn't know
the
that.
parenting philosophy, like Montessori wise and Rye
Okay.
wise. You're not supposed to talk about yourself in the third person because it's depersonalizing and it's, creating distance and whatever.
Okay.
I think it just happens. Like, I think it's
Yeah, I
because
can
you're
see that.
creating a conversation with someone who's not talking back to you,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like creating his side of the conversation sometimes when I'm trying to imagine what he's
Right.
thinking about and therefore narrating what I imagine he's thinking about.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, what's mama, what do I have, like, what's mommy doing with that, what, something like that.
Yeah.
It comes up more naturally than I would have expected.
Yeah. I had never thought about it in that from that perspective. The way you put it just now, that does make sense to me
Yeah.
to use it that way. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, I think him saying mama dad, mommy daddy, mama dada will happen eventually.
Most definitely.
We will
Probably.
end up with a verbal human, seems
Yes.
like. All signs point to him being quite verbal at some. See, now I just want to tell you all the things that are going on with him, because I feel like I haven't even
tell
updated
me.
you about it, but we're talking a long time now.
It's fine. Tell me.
He's started really babbling, like full on sentence long babbling with intonation, and it's so fascinating. It's so cool. And
There was one video of that, and I even went to Mateo's and was like, look, that's so exciting.
I know. Oh my god, it's so cute. I don't remember what video you're talking about. I'm so glad I have that though, because it's so cool. It's like, and it just goes on. It just keeps going. And like,
and he's like kind of narrating what he's doing too, right? Like with that.
It feels like he's telling me what he's doing.
Yeah.
It feels like he's trying to tell me a story, and a lot of times it'll happen when like one of us comes home. He'll start getting really talkative. Yeah, it's so sweet. And he's just like, and he goes, like it's, it just makes me smile so much. And I'm like, I want to be creative enough to make up the other side of this conversation, but like,
yeah, I'm not that person.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, really, oh my gosh, tell me more, and like that sort of thing, which again, totally fine, but I want to like create a whole conversation in my head about what he's actually saying. It warms my heart so much.
Oh, yay.
It makes me really excited for when he's gonna form sentences and talk and stuff, and
it's gonna be nonstop.
I
feel like he
I'm
came
gonna
out
be
talking.
exhausted. I'm gonna be exhausted.
Yeah. That's what I said like a year ago. I was like, Megan, you're gonna have this babbling human on your tail the whole day talking nonstop.
One of my friends was like, so I have another friend who's an introvert with a really talkative extroverted kid, and sometimes she'll just get me on FaceTime and he and I will have like an hour-long conversation while she makes dinner, and feel free to do that anytime you want. And I was like, cool. Thank you so much.
That's an amazing tip.
Yeah, definitely, because I will not be able to talk to him all day.
Yeah,
it's not going to be possible for me. I will go to bed like a zombie. So I'm gonna have to build in conversation for him with other people into our lives.
It's so great that you have so many options.
It is great.
Call.
Thank God for video calls.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
And he's already used to those, so that's also
He is.
like...
He loves them. Every time he sees my phone and it's not like off, if I'm like looking at it, he like comes over and peeks around and is like, are we going to call somebody? Who we calling now, mama? So it's great. Love it.
And that one time recently, I felt like, I mean, I don't know because I have this very narrow perspective, but I felt like he wanted to take the phone and like walk away with me and like talk to me. Like,
he did. He
you
totally
guys are done.
has.
I'm going to talk to her now.
He totally has done that. And he'll get distracted by like swiping the screen around some.
Right.
But he also like takes the phone and knows to hold it toward his face and like walks around. It's so cute.
It's also very scary to me that they know that, but it's also obviously very convenient.
Yeah. I think it's just a part of our world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been playing music for him because that's one of the things that he does at daycare. And so on the weekends, we do that as part of our day because it's, familiar to him. And it is a good way to like spend some time on a weekend day when you're feeling a little overwhelmed. If he's not at a breaking point, music is a great plan. So we put on the music, but we don't have Bluetooth speakers. So, and I don't want to play it out of my phone because then he's just focused on the phone. So I play it out of our TV. But I had to put a towel over the TV so that it didn't show the little like card and the timer counter because he would just lay there and look at the TV while the music was playing. And I'm like, it's not even moving.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening that's interesting on this screen. You're just staring at it. So I put a towel over it and then he like got up and moved around and danced or played with his toys or whatever. Yeah. I was like, oh, screens, man, they're powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have this magnetic pull.
They sure do.
For us. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is great for folding laundry, playing music. So
nice. Because his way of helping with that is just undoing your work.
It's being very unhelpful. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Apparently, in the next mental leap that he goes through, he will start knowing whose clothes are whose. This is what the app tells me.
He can put away stuff.
Right?
Sorts.
So hopefully that will mean that he will know if I say, take this to mommy and daddy's room. He may even be able to do that. I'm not sure. I don't know how like multi-layered instructions will be at that point. But he will know that that is my shirt. Or those are my shorts. Which is also just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I'm also really grateful for these mental leap guideposts.
Yeah.
They're so helpful. And maybe we need to talk to somebody that knows more about them. Because I just like look at them when I'm having a rough time. Or like if I haven't in a while, I'll look at where we're at. But yeah, they are really incredibly helpful and very fascinating. So yeah. I think that's all.
Well, thanks for updating us. This was really fun.
I like
and
him so
I'm
much.
now looking forward to more videos of him talking. I
know. I hope I can get some. Well, the problem is observing the phenomenon changes the phenomenon.
Yeah, I know.
And when the phone comes out, all bets are off. So I have to do it secretly, which is on our little photo sharing app for the baby. There's like a lot of pictures and photos or videos of like the side of him or the back of him because I tried to like get videos when he's not paying attention to me. So I don't know how visually appealing they are, but I'm hopeful that they're enjoyed.
Oh,
anyway.
They still are. He's still cute from any angle. Are you kidding?
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.
Till next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.